a friend of mine, he knows I listen to Chris Williamson, and I need to start listening to Chris Williamson a lot more. But he had basically said to me, it's better to try 100 times and be successful 8 times than try 10 times and be successful 10 times. And I don't know if he quoted him correctly, and I don't know if I interpreted the quote of my friend correctly. But what I will say is, it has made me think. You know, it's been like, I've always had the opinion, I've tried with so many people, it didn't work, and you know, so I was like, but you know what? If I didn't try as many times as I did, I wouldn't have my best friend, I wouldn't have the friends I consider family, I wouldn't have any of this. You know, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And even though the people I loved at one point and the people I relied on, they found an issue with everything about me. You know, it was always my mum and my sister Beatrice. Always, you have so much fucking energy, you have too much, you're so young, you have so much energy. And then suddenly when the abuse started to affect me and I didn't have feelings anymore and I just withdrawed and I went quiet, it was like, is she alive? She's in her room all the time, is she alive? And she's depressed, and she's sulking. You know, abusive people, they only like acknowledging the reactions you have to their actions and not actually what they did. You know, and what I noticed when I look back at all these clips is whenever I start impersonating my mother, I actually end up like full on yelling, which probably should be a sign of her mental state. In my nature, I'm really loud. I'm really friendly. I just crack jokes a lot. I am not how I am. I have this persona called Serious Nisha and just, I don't know, Crackhead Nisha or something like that. And me and my best friend, we are the I don't know, he's the one I kind of said that to. And then what he said is, you know, if someone knew me in my personal life and I only ever showed them my Crackhead Nisha, cracking jokes and making fun, they're gonna get they get a shock when they see Serious Nisha. You know, and he said, God help all these fake hoes anyway. You know, and I think, to be honest with you, I think I'm the happiest when I talk about him and when I'm with him. You know, which in essence is probably unhealthy, because I don't know if that's an over-dependence on someone, but he's a really good person, so I know he won't fuck me over. And if he does, he'll make sure he makes up for it. You know, and I fuck up. I'm human as well, even though I want to be perfect. I think what's beautiful about people is that we aren't perfect. You know? And I don't ever know if I'm ever going to be religious. And I'm not the most inclined to believe, like, I wouldn't say I'm not a forgiving person. You know, I am forgiving. You know, but I'll forgive you, but get 10 meters away from me and fuck you and forget you ever knew me. Or then I had my, like a year to 6 months ago, I had my whole haunting thing. Oh my God, I need to haunt everyone. Everyone needs to miss me. I need everyone to look at me and just like feel sad that I'm no longer in their life because I'm Nisha Carey. What can I say? You know, I feel like I'm just a repeating tape here. It's like, oh yes, I'm traumatized, I'm fucked up, I don't trust people, I love my best friends, and I'm a repeating record. You know, it's like I've already talked about this shit a million times. How come it hasn't been sorted yet? You know, how the fuck fuck it, I'm gonna go walk around. What I find funny is some people, like, they actually, first off, when I'm joking, they take me seriously. And then people think I'm cringe. And see, the beauty is, I know I'm cringe, but I just embrace it. You know? Like, I'm out here walking in fucking cheetah sweatpants with a fucking, it is so obvious my whole outfit is Shein. I'm here walking with a fucking my phone, which is probably the most expensive thing I'm ever gonna go buy in my entire life, because even though I'm like really shitty and impulsive with my money because I've been traumatized by being starved, and so it's this fucking it's this weird fucking cycle where 1 minute I'm overspending and I shouldn't be buying this shit, and oh my god, stop buying fucking takeout for the love of fucking god. And then the next minute it's like, oh my god, yeah, I have €1 to live on for the next 5 days, and this is how I'm gonna live. And I'm having, my dinner is ice cubes and cold water, and oh my god, body is tea. That's what I'm like, you know. But hey, we're working on that. I'm eating a lot better now, you know, and I suppose I am going for one. I should not be trusted out in public, you know. Honestly, sometimes I feel like a fucking escape lab experiment, to be honest with you. But hey, some people like me. Not a lot of people like me. If I wasn't physically attractive, I would not get away with my personality. But hey, I am self-aware enough to realise that. But that also shows how shallow society is. But sure look, we already fucking knew that. You know, and you know the ironic part is, when I first started this channel, I wanted it to be like a fucking, do you know, like Timothy Ward or like Chris Williamson, or like someone like smart and cool who had good ideas, who probably was no, Timothy Ward wasn't traumatized. Chris Williamson, God only knows there. You know, I wanted this to actually be something educational, and I used to be really educational, but I only get educational when I'm traumatized and I'm trying to run away from my trauma. So maybe it's better I'm like this, you know. And yeah, God only knows, you know. But hey, I've somehow convinced someone to listen to me, you know, so appreciate that, you know. Whoa, what can I say though? Life is good. Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna say it, life's good. You know, I'm currently on my eating ice cubes for dinner stage, but I promise myself I won't make stupid financial decisions to get back to that point. I'm gonna make stupid financial decisions to get back to that point, because I don't know, for the longest fucking time I didn't have enough, you know, and I was always desperate for food, my basic needs. I'd never had my fucking basic needs met before, you know. So I don't even like clothes. I don't even fucking buy clothes like that, you know. I'm genuinely spending my money just going to be spend time with my friends and on food. But like, in this economy, you can't even fucking afford that shit, low key. High fucking key, you know. But hey, I'm young. Woo. And I'm gonna, and I by the looks of it, I'm gonna have a way better paying job soon, so woo. But like, if like the YouTube AdSense would like to fucking help out, wink wink, nudge nudge, please, someone please watch me for long enough, so me kind of documenting all my pathetic self-destructive thoughts on here. I don't know, might get some fucking monetary value, but that nearly makes me sound like a fucking prostitute. But sure, look it, you know, how do I have any friends at all? I don't know. And you know what's more interesting? How I've gone through so many years of the education system without being diagnosed for autism. That's more of a miracle, you know. But hey, when your mum was a teacher in your primary school and the whole primary school was pushing everything underneath the rug, You know, such as our principal shagging half the staff members, being dead serious, and our principal shagging the parents of multiple of our pupils. But hey, what would you expect from a, fun fact, Catholic primary school? You know, but sure, look, at the past is in fact the past, you know? And I know that if my younger self could see me right now, they wouldn't believe I've become this person, you know? And deep down, I don't even know why I'm still here, you know, but I know I've become someone who'd protect that kid I used to be, you know? And even though I am fucked up, and even though I don't make sense to a lot of people, I barely even understand myself, and I'm the one who's kind of stuck with me and even though I'm the person stuck with myself all the time, unless I'm asleep, but then even when I'm asleep, I probably have my subconscious mind going on. I don't really understand myself, but I do know that there is people who care about me. And I do know there is people who would be very sad if I, hypothetically speaking, just jumped off the bridge. Or like did a bit of a hanging myself job. But I don't have the desire to do such a thing anymore. And if I'd said that to myself probably like what, 3-4 years ago, I would have never believed you. And you know what the weirdest thing is? I don't even feel the need to make suicidal jokes anymore. And if that isn't healing, I don't fucking know what is. You know? What puzzles me sometimes is how fucking miserable most people are. You know? And even though I have been given really, really, really shitty dick, I think that is a safe statement to make. I think nowadays I'm happier than most people I encounter, you know? And I said this to one of my coworkers today, and she said this was a controversial thing to say and that I shouldn't say this out loud, and my response to this is factually correct. I've never seen a sad Down syndrome kid, you know? And hey, honestly, I think they're like fucking happy pills, man. You know? Like, man, every single time I've said hi to a Down syndrome kid, they just smile and they say hi back. You know? And maybe whatever fucking is wrong with my head is what makes me happy. You know? And for the longest time, I used to just down straight vodka to numb my feelings. And looking back at that was like very concerning, because why was a 12-year-old able to down straight Bacardi? But hey, you know, teach them young. Irish pride, traumatizing the youth because my mum was an alcoholic and she had no friends and she didn't want to drink alone and no one else wanted to drink with her. So her child that she was desperately abusing, you know, had to drink the vodka and coke with her, and it was always in a disposable cup because she didn't want to clean the cup after. And then also it always had to have ice, and then she'd always give out to me, you know, because even though she's the one who forced me to start drinking, I just never wanted to put the coke in my cup, you know. I don't know, she used to give out to me a lot for that, but hey, I didn't give a fuck. I drank that shit straight anyway. But hey, getting back to point, maybe whatever's messed up with my brain is what makes me happy, you know? And I like what's fucked up with my brain most of the time, you know? I don't like my attachment. I really like how I think though, you know? And I was there messaging my best friend or whatever, as I do, you know? And he was basically saying that, you know, I keep on looking for love but I don't even know what it is, you know. And I think I know how to give it, you know, in weird ways, absolutely. But I do just about think I know how to give it, you know. But I don't actually know what love is, you know. I've never been shown it. I feel like I have experienced it, but I've never had that, like, unconditional type of love that most people know about. You know, I've never had that, you know. And I'm never going to experience that, you know. Like, most people, the only people that will ever love them unconditionally is their parents, you know. And not everyone is privileged enough to get that. And a clip I saw was basically saying that people, like, women look for love in men, but the reality is the only people that will ever love you unconditionally is your kids, you know. And to be honest with you, that scares me, because if I fuck up bad enough, I'd want them to leave. If I hurt anyone bad enough, I'd want them to leave me, because I love them. And if I'm bad for you, I care about your happiness more than I care about your presence, you know? Because even though it'd kill me, if my current friends, if I did something really bad and they didn't want to be in my life anymore, I'd let them go. Even though I might consider, like, things that, like, aren't really good for my safety and stuff like that afterwards, but they matter more, you know. And I think being in people's lives is a privilege, you know. And I'm just happy there's people who are willing to be a part of my journey, you know. And even with how confusing and, like, complex and maybe a bit toxic, okay, and childish, too mature sometimes, and then too distant and too close sometimes, I have people willing to spend a lot of time with me. And I think that's strangely beautiful. And I'm kind of looking off into nature. And the more I watch myself, I'm really just a stupid, overgrown child who's way too developed in some areas and way too underdeveloped in other areas. But I'm somehow learning how to function in this strange society. What can I say? You know? And I'm just grateful I am who I am, you know. I love myself. And I think when I say that this time, I think I actually mean it, you know. And I think I'm going to leave this here. Miss Spaghetti is leaving. Bye-bye.